And we're live. Welcome to this week's Pulled Pork episode. Pretty good, huh? Well, we're making on the open pit here. I'm going to turn this around, get a ditch of shotgun real quick. Hope that wasn't overly dramatic for anyone. Come on up to the fire here with me. We'll see what we got going on. Now, Franklin Roosevelt had what he called his fireside chats. I guess what we got here is called our fireside fats. Ooh, it's hot. It's hot. It's hot. Ooh, babe. Ooh. Shit, I don't even know if you guys can see that. We got ham. We got ham on. You guys got a good view of that right there? Look at that. Nice and golden brown. We got the a bug just landed in it. We don't mind. That's just a country bug, no big deal. That's gonna keep on sizzling for a little while. But we got the glaze on it. Hey everybody. How you doing? Sensei, good to see you. All right. Hey, good. I'm glad you can see that. Ham ass. I don't know. That's like pig's butt. I guess big old. Well, we got this holiday coming up in America. Easter. Do they celebrate that everywhere? Easter. I guess Jesus. That's a Jesus thing. So probably you guys know about Easter too. I would think, right over there across the pond. Anyways, I'm not sure how it all relates with ham and colored eggs and Christ on the cross and resurrection. I don't know how it all fits together with chocolate bunnies and really bad astroturf type grass. What I imagine pubic hair looks like in hell on Easter grass. So yeah, I don't know what it all means. I'm not a real religious person per se, so I think this is more of a symbolic dinner. Hopefully my Jewish and Arab friends aren't annoyed with the pork. I'd like to say shalom, assalamu alaikum, my friends. We're just out here, in Calvin, just doing our thing, Oh, good, since you got my email. Yeah. Hi, it's probably just me and you in here. I don't think anyone wants to watch me cook ham on a fire, but I don't know how long I can go anyways. I threw it on here because the weather has turned a little sour. But I'm willing to sit in the rain and cook ham anytime, as long as it's not going to damage the computer. We always got something to talk about. Yeah, I figure. Yeah, well, right. I'm not overly religious, but I do like I like the idea of I'm gonna try to zone that in a little bit more, maybe more inclusive on the. There we go. Hey, down here. Oh shit, that's hot. I do I like the ritual of getting together with friends and family. Whether it's my favorite is it's Thanksgiving. For years I had large 20, 30 people, over friends, a few relatives, because I have a very small family, even smaller now that half of them are, gone. More than half, most of them. So I always had a lot of friends, and believe it or not. And for example, 13 of us from a mom and pop place called Bilbo's Pizza in a Pan in Kalamazoo. How they got away with the copyright infringement, I don't ever know, but they were studying to be lawyers. They're both passed, Charlie. Anyways, anyone who's been to Kalamazoo, or especially if they've been to Western Michigan at all, of course they know Bilbo's. Used to be up on campus, now it's kind of off campus, a new building. Back in the day, we used to call it the underground. It was like the bar that I hung out at, with friends. And it was literally in the basement. We used to get stuff in the dry storage and drink two of us left from those and moved to Colorado from Kalamazoo on a wagon train of pizza and flour and vomit. We made it out there like pioneers, and only two are left. Steve and Rachel, if you're watching, hi. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing good up there in the front range of Fort Collins, over there next to the Big Horse, too. I don't really have an agenda here today, Sensi. I went live this morning earlier about a kind of a missing person / abducted, probably something horrible happened case about that girl, Brittany Shank from Sturgis, Michigan. I don't know if you had a chance to catch that. She was in a car accident, went to a neighbor's. The neighbor was acting all weird, supposedly had a boyfriend who took off in the car, and she's been missing after the accident ever since. Really weird case. I encourage you guys to actually watch that live. It's only 30 minutes. It's a short one, so it's really an enigmatic, mysterious case, and we sure hope to get some resolution for Miss Shank's family. Again, I remember Sleuth doing after I started watching it, and reacquainting myself with that case, because Sleuth had done an episode on that. I'm about 99% sure. Do I sound okay? I did not have a look-see today, Sensei. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I kind of got to watch it. I'm a little broke. I got a gas leak in the car again. It's kind of been doing it since the major one got fixed. I got the slow leak. Gasoline. I'm just nervous about like bursting, and I get stuck somewhere way out in BFE. And when I'm telling you, there's places around here out in BFE, it's not like Kalamazoo when I didn't have a car for like almost a year or whatever, 8 or 9 months, and I literally walked everywhere. One, that would be good help, but yeah, the wind is always gusting out here actually. But I just wanted to make sure I wasn't echoing. I can hear myself in my my Bluetooth big speaker, so I want to make sure cross contamination, if you will. Yeah, and probably frying the outside is pretty good, but it's kind of hard to regulate the temperature on an open fire. I tried to put like some bumper stuff in between it, like I got a bobby iron skillet, big, heavy, 10-pound iron skillet. What's up, Owl? You missed my crazy opening. It's my pulled pork episode. So I said pulled, and damn. But glad you're here now, Owl. I'll show you what I'm up to here. I'll point you down here, Owl. Yeah, there we go. It's fireside chat with Farmer. Looks like we're cooking a little ham on the grill. Well, it's not really a grill. It's more like an open fire. You see that? Okay. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, that looks good. Out here, we're getting a little. You know what I did earlier? Oh man, I thought it was going to raise a pretty good welt on me. I grabbed a hold of that metal son of a bitch right there. Boy, that was hot as a son of a gun. But I think all my years of burning myself Middleby Marshall pizza oven, staved off some of that. It's just kind of left these hands been through a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna recap this here. I just feel like I don't want to burn it. Like I think it's okay if the outside gets a little like black or whatever. It's kind of like moldy cheese. You can kind of trim it away. You like cheese? Are you a cheese fan? I mean, you live in a cheese land, right? Isn't England known as like a cheese? I love cheese. Thank you, Al. Yeah, it's a little Easter for me. I don't know, man. I just get bored. I'm out here all by myself. I start my job big time on Monday. I know I've been saying that for a while, but I had to update my resume with my chauffeur's license, which I found and all that, and we're doing a little delivery in public endorsement, but I'm not gonna wait to do. My sister's working on my resume. She's smart, and I'm smart too. But I mean, it's this whole convoluted thing where I'm on this, and instead of just letting me edit the damn thing, I have to like dump it all out and redo it. No good at typing. She's a whiz on that. My sister works. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say. She works for a well-known medical organization, and she's a graduate of Western Michigan University, Dean's List. Put herself through college. She's a hero of mine. My sister. I mean, she always had. My sister always has very much with her. And uh, she was the go-getter. Like she was so regimented and organized. She would get home, put on General Hospital, do her homework, sitting on the floor, do a quick workout like Elaine Powers style, then, um, or maybe some Richard Simmons or something. Do a quick kind of thing, and then go out for the night. It's like she somehow made room for like everything, super motivated. And she was again, 4.0 in high school, but also she graduated from Western on the, like I said, on the dean's list. I think that's a 3.7 or greater as an average over 4 years. Um, with a they don't offer the program anymore, but an English major and a minor in journalism, which is the part they don't offer anymore. So she does a lot of editing and stuff like that. So she's in charge of my resume, anyways. To make a long story even longer. Let's see what Sensei's saying here. There's a little bit of fat and stuff on there. I hope. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, if you got fat and skin on there, you can get some salt on for some good crackling. Okay, is that where you like fry it up real good? I definitely got some salt on a salted thing. I mean, salted pork, of course. Something that not only hobbits love, but people love it too. Um, so yeah. Anyways, I don't really have much to say. I mean, I just thought, why not let you guys listen to the meat sizzle with me? I figured that Tom Webster shoving Old Milwaukee up at people's ass, and I ought to be able to grill a half a ham on the open. Have somebody watch. Tom, in case you ever hear that, which I know you will, just kidding. You do a great job. That guy's succinct, man. He is. He's a good broadcast, and I think it's funny that he does a cooking show. And yeah, well, we all do have different strengths. I'm not sure. I'm still. I remember my neighbor at my old house on Jefferson. Of course, you guys forget that place. It was part of my identity, and it hasn't been that long. But my old neighbor, who I'm pretty sure military intelligence, was from Roswell. I don't want to go any further than that. He built like a brick, shit house, and he was kind of assigning tasks to people in the neighborhood, like, oh, Jim, you got firearms, Jim had tons of guns and ammo, and so's got the food and this and that, and then he got to me, and I'm like, he goes, we're still trying to figure out what you do well, Farmer. I love you. I miss that guy a lot. He was really good to me. He brought me back a nice alien keychain from the UFO convention in Roswell that him and his wife went to, both ex-military. Yeah, I mean, um, it's a little shitty out here weather-wise, and as soon as I get any inkling for some meat, I don't want to rush it too much. I mean, it's normally something I would cook pretty slowly in the oven, as it is already pre-cooked. I'm pretty sure one of these, spiral hams. It's such a good deal on it. It was regularly almost $4 a pound. I got it for 89 cents a pound. I mean, under $7 We got this whole ham, you know. I had to snatch it up. This would be a pretty good place for an Easter egg hunt. I mean, I'm really out in the middle of it. Yeah, no, whereabouts? I mean, it already has been sprinkling here in southern Michigan. Again, let's say I'm about maybe 10 miles north of the Indiana border, around there, 10, 12 miles. Maybe a little less than that even. I'm probably within 5 miles of Highway US 12, which used to be known as the old Chicago Road, Michigan, from Chicago to Detroit, and before that known as the Old Soft Trail, one of the oldest Indian trails in the lower part of it. And of course, before that, we know that large animals came between the water features on the sluice and stomped their way through all those water features to get to the high grasslands. So they made those trails 10,000 years ago, mastodons and things like that, which we find here in Michigan, by the way. Not too far from Kalamazoo, maybe about 45 minutes north of Grand Rapids. It was maybe 10 years ago. We found an entire, I don't know if it's a mammoth or a mastodon, whichever one is more common. Yeah, today's really the first day that the temperature has been. Oh, I didn't see this. What do you think about the women's space trip? Hey, Farmer, what do you think about the women's space trip? Refresh me on what that is, Sensei. I'm sorry. It has to do with some UFO stuff. I mean, I need to know. Women's space trip. I feel like I should know something about this. I know there's a documentary coming out that involves all women and subject of UAP, including Linda Moulton Howe and some experiencers and some whistleblowers. It is something I spend a fair amount of time on after having 4 experiences individually on my own with these. And each one is different. Each craft, each vehicle. When I say vehicle, I mean it in the most general sense. I don't mean metal. I mean propulsion system. A vehicle. Each one different. Each 4 of my individual sightings. The first one in the summer of 1980, where I would see President Ronald Reagan drive past me in Washington, D.C. in a motorcade. Where only a few months later, a jet crashed into the icy waters of the Potomac, where a lot of people would die. Very dramatic breaking news footage on that. You have people cleaning chunks of ice in the city river, plane parts bursting into flames. I mean, just like apocalypse. On our way there in that 78 Chevette, which would go on to be my first vehicle, actually 15. I saw a gray dot in the sky. I just never mentioned it to anybody, but it was very anomalous. They had no wings. It was just a gray dot on a dark, rainy day, and we're in Pennsylvania, driving on the highway to Washington, D.C. Just quick it was there, it buzzed off, in a weird direction, and I just never said it when I was 8 years old. Of course, my next sighting would be July 4th in 2021, I believe. And so that's a hard one because here it is July 4th. Are they Chinese lanterns? Whatever. But I do know at the end of it, if they were Chinese lanterns, they were awful smart. They were glowing red. They lined up in a string and did right angle turns above me. So in one string, like if you could imagine the Elon Musk string of satellites going over in one line, it was doing that with maybe 5 or 6 of these bright. And I got it on video. It's in my short section. Roof over there. There's some parts of the property that I just don't show because I don't want to give away, too much about my location. I pretty much, you guys are always seeing like the back, past my RV, but in the front, towards the road, there's a couple outbuildings and things like that. A shop with power and stuff like that. So, but I don't show that stuff because, well, I tell a lot of locals to watch my show too. I don't really need to be out there that much. Let me see here. Oh, it's that Buddy, Katy Perry, and Bezos' wife, and a couple of others spent about 10 minutes allegedly. Oh, in space. Right, right, right. But people are suspicious. Check out some of the videos. Um, yeah, I agree, Sensi. I know people are like outraged that this super rich woman went up into space. I don't really know what people to do with their money. They literally have, hundreds of billions of dollars at this point. I don't see a big deal with it. I'm not outraged that they would do something like that, but I don't know what they're suspicious of. I do have a great view of the sky. It's very dark out here. You can definitely see stars and constellations like you cannot see in the city of Kalamazoo. There's even just around the corner. It's a few miles away. It's called Dr. Lawless State Park. I don't know who Dr. Lawless was, but something tells me it had something to do with the maybe with the Underground Railroad, possibly. I'd have to look into it. This is a big area for the Underground Railroad back in the 40s and 50s and 60s. Anyways, they have what they call a nighttime park there, where the whole idea is to go there because the nighttime views are so good. I don't know what they call that exactly, but they don't allow any lights in the parking lot and so forth. It sounds creepy to me, but especially after looking at that case, that Arctic Box True Crime with Daniel Lopez going to that Pines Barren State Park to see that eclipse and then disappearing. Disturbing shit. But look here. Oh, baby. We are sizzling. That ASN is getting good and crispy. Come on, stay on there, baby. Yeah, it's getting a little windy out. I apologize, you guys. It's probably going to be just a bit windy sounding out here. Yeah, the weather has been such shit. That's what I was going to say, Sensi. Since I moved over here, whatever, I've been out here like 6 weeks or something now. And the weather's just been terrible. It's like about 90-some% of the time cold and rainy and swampy and cold. Like every night I wake up, I can see my breath running and shit. The struggle is real when you live in an RV without, I never hooked up my propane furnace or anything. I'm just kind of using that space heater. Not knowing how to really do any of that stuff. It's not been the easiest, but you know what? Again, better than the alternative. Yeah, it's a good place. Yeah, it's good to have places where they reduce the lights for good night skies. A bit creepy too. I don't mind if I'm with other people again, or maybe if I'm armed, but it's just God, there's so many weird missing persons cases in these national parks. I personally, this is getting out there a little bit, that the whole reason that the national parks were made in the first place by, I think, Theodore Roosevelt was one of the first presidents to start setting aside millions of acres in the 1890s. But I really think that they use it as an excuse to cover up their true history in America. And I believe that there is an Egyptian cave in the Grand Canyon that was discovered by Lewis and Clark. They noted it. They passed that on to a nefarious organization called Smithsonian, run by the Smithson family, that's been funded in perpetuity for over 200 years through Congress. You tell me what organization gets funded for over 200 years without a question. One that's beaten both sides of the snakes ass. They make things disappear. They make people disappear. They make artifacts disappear. They make our history disappear. It's well known they had directors initially that were looking over crazy claims of land surveyors in the 1860s and 50s and 40s, up the Ohio Valley and Indiana, a little bit of Michigan, but mostly those other areas, and especially the Ohio Valley. Being a fertile valley that comes up, I guess, from the ocean to the Mississippi, probably a river somehow, whatever, Missouri River. At some point, it gets you down to the ocean. I know that. Um, they found giants, hundreds of skeletons on the banks of the Ohio River. I believe all that shit. I believe they found an Egyptian cave there. And now these places, if you try to go there, they even did a show on it on the History Channel. They tried to go to this. They had a guy named Kincaid, G.E. Kincaid, who managed to get out of there. He refound it in 1909 on a so-called exploration of the Grand Canyon. But we know he was sent there to find it on purpose. And he managed to get out of this cave. It was 1,000 feet up from the river. It was quite a climb. Finally finds that he can see that it's not naturally formed. It is a man-made cave dug out by hand, and it's large. It has a citadel in it with like 100 mummified giants of Egyptian writing and all kind of Buddha type stuff, and there's like a Buddha there. I know it sounds crazy, but I personally believe it is true because you can't get to those locations, and then the national parks because right in the cave, they're cemented off. There are cases where they've actually filled up cave entrances with some kind of filler, some kind of cement, some kind of look natural even. The Smithton family, Bigfoot. My thoughts on Bigfoot. Gosh, ever since I was a kid, I used to love watching those 70s, mystery, with the dramatic music and UFOs and Bigfoot. Yeah, I think there's something here with that. Whether or not it's a progenitor race or something that has always been here, I'm not sure. I've heard different things, and there is a huge correlation. Now, John Keel started putting these things together. He was the guy that wrote, I don't know the name of the book, but he wrote about the Mothman originally, and he was there when that bridge collapsed in West Virginia, where the Mothman was seen, and over 40 people died on the Silver Bridge. Just crazy, the whole thing gives way, and dozens of cars go careening into the deep gorge below. Only 40 people plus to die. But he writes of all these things, whether it be poltergeists, orbs, actual metallic-looking disc or horseshoe-shaped craft. I think you could probably throw Dog Boy or Dog Man or whatever that is in there, and certainly Bigfoot. That they all seem more interconnected instead of completely separate than what people have given them credit for. Oftentimes, Bigfoot will show up after a UFO is seen or before. I've heard that they a race from another planet that was violent and didn't handle their shit well, sequestered here to learn their lessons in the wild by an off-planet civilization. There are some crazy theories on it. Now, have you ever heard of the Patterson-Gimlin film, Sensei? That is that's the original 60s film footage. It's real grainy, and it shows what they call a female Bigfoot striding through a California gully after a rainstorm, and it's literally walking over 2 and 3 foot round logs, and just the strides are 5 and 6 feet. This thing is massive. It's got breasts, uh, which you can see, and the whole narrative says, if you investigate this, look it up, Snooze the Wind on YouTube. What's coming out now is that Patterson and Gimlin uh, weren't just tracking that for their own pleasure. They were working for the logging company that hired them to track and murder Bigfoot. There is film footage of Bigfoot's family being murdered on film with a pool of blood below a little Bigfeet that a dog pulled right up. Now, this footage exists. Edgar Mitchell had a copy of it, the ex-astronaut. So it was a massacre. And then the original of this film has been put out. The one that the media has of the Patterson Gimlin is so many generations down the road, you can tell what's going on. But there are new ones where AI has reconstructed some of it, and then someone found the original that they got from like Gimlin or Patterson's wife out of the friggin' machine. It's quite a story, and that's how they made some of these stills. There are some stills that they made out of that film where you can see the hair is blondish red, and you can see through it. You can see skin lesions and sores underneath of it. You can see muscles flexing. You can see breasts. It looks very real in those circumstances. Not like, and but apparently the story is that yeah, they murdered about 3 of those things, and they could have gotten away. They figured, so they buried them all and never told anybody. And they cut up the film and gave each person a part of the film so that no one would rat each other out because each one had each other corroborating the murder of Bigfoot family. Which they said, if we would have just killed one, okay, we could have brought that to the public and said, look, but they were scaring off the loggers. The logging company was making big bucks out in Washington State, Oregon, out there on the West Coast, California, in the high mountains, places that hadn't ever been clear cut before. Virgin timber, large virgin timber, millions and millions of dollars worth. And these big feet, had stayed up there for quite a while and were scaring off the loggers. So they hired Patterson and Gimlin not to track them and make a rodeo clown, but to murder them. Yeah, right. I mean, animatronics. I mean, it's like there are things dancing underneath the skin of this creature. And people came out and said, oh, that was me in a suit or whatever. But, just like crop circles, there was those 2 old dudes in Europe that had a piece of wood. How insulting. And a rope. And they're like, yeah, we make those. We started in 1978, not realizing that, since the 30s they've been recording them, that the patterns are so intricate sometimes that a piece of wood on a rope just wouldn't do it. That just pushes it over. These things are interwoven 5 layers deep. The crop circles. And they even have video of orbs swirling around and making them within seconds. I've seen them. I've seen the video. I haven't seen it in real life. So some crop circles, I believe, correspond with whatever this orb phenomenon is. I say orb because it does seem to focus around like what I saw for what I recorded that Scott Roeder verified, and those were the big orange roiling sun-like orbs that were then seen the next day over Langley, Virginia, the exact same ones. Of course, we know that story. I've repeated it plenty of times. But it doesn't change the fact that, it doesn't go away. It doesn't dissipate. That experience stays, with me so clear in my mind. And really the one that I just missed recording is the most mysterious one. And that was 3 bright green points of light that made a triangle in the sky when I was delivering at 3:30 in the morning. And that's in my shorts also. In short section. I didn't catch the craft. I put the camera up and it was on selfie mode, which was weird because I never did that. So by the time my finger found where to turn the camera around, it was gone. Oh, hey, Hiawatha. Well, let's take a look and see. Can you see that? All right. Let's get a little look see underneath. Looks like, I mean, yeah, I'm thinking that it's it's getting there. I mean, the fire is definitely dying down. We lost a piece off the side there. It's shit. It's probably done, you guys. Let me see what we got here. Oh, there you go. That's how it should be. Oh yeah. No, it's not done yet. It's not even hot. I mean, it's hot on the outside and it's warm in the middle. It needs to be a little hotter in the middle. But the flavor is good. Again, I'm really hoping these are pre-cooked. Otherwise, I probably will get what's the big one? Trichinosis. So yeah, big. Yeah, why not? I mean, as many. Oh, thank you. It's actually tasting really good. Wow. As many people that have recorded, it's not like there isn't any forensic evidence for Bigfoot. They have plenty of unmatched hair, fecal matter, all kinds of nutty poop that doesn't fit with any other known animal. So I'd say yes to cryptids in general. Yeah. Felt like he was being watched. That's what you're about to put. Yeah, felt like he was being watched. Something started throwing logs. That's what they do. That, and I heard they like bang on trees, but I've not had anything like that. Although I will say, on the back roads around here that go down between swamps and shit, people have metal life-size cutouts of Bigfoot on the edge of their country swamp. I'm talking 5 to 6 foot tall. Iron, or maybe it's really plywood, I suppose. It's pretty funny. Yeah, Dogman in Michigan, Hiawatha. Thanks. I'm out here on 120 acres by myself. Almost out of rounds, Yeah, but I don't think things like that are intrinsically dangerous to people if you don't go walking up on their territory or whatever. Dogman's a little hard to swallow, but again, if there's going to be a Loch Ness monster and a giant shark, I mean, they got video. Japanese people got video of a shark so big it dwarfs anything we've ever seen before, and that's on video, down deep. Yeah, it's true, Hiawatha. This whole area is Dogman. In Ohio, I think they had something called Grassman or something like that. Where I'm from, Grassman, a little bit different. That's quite good. I'm going to leave you guys for a moment. You don't mind watching the I don't melt my computer. I'm gonna go make my Friday night drink that I allow myself. I'm out of mixer, so I'll be mixing liquor with the liquor. Yeah, I'll be right back though. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. By the time I'm done playing, I'll be right back. Okay. All right, here we go. And I'm back. I figure a large piece of meat requires a large knife. I'm gonna cut a little piece of that off the ass there. Well thought. Shit. I gotta wash this pants anyway. It's gross. Grossness on my pants. Yeah, I did that. Oh, ouch. Okay. All right. I'm gonna set that right on the computer. Yeah, I happened to catch some of the it's on a little bit of a delay, so I walked in the RV. I could hear it on the Bluetooth wireless, and sorry about the wind noise, you guys. I really probably be better off using my microphone with the wind side on it, but I just wasn't that motivated. Anyways, well, Bowden, cheers to everybody. Happy Easter. If you celebrate in a Christian way, then happy resurrection. If you celebrate in a sort of fun, kids Easter egg hunt sort of way, well, have fun with your families and try to spend some quality time together if you can. I mean, it's about all we have, you guys. Oh yeah, you think so? I mean, surprisingly enough, I put it together myself. It's pretty big. It's like 36 or 38 inches, I think. But it was all at 40 bucks. I mean, to me, that's not for what it does. I mean, it's windy out there. I need to ensure that the fields of really dry shit here, from last year's crop of shit. Um, there's about 4 acres here that used to have a house on it that burnt down years ago and so forth. But beyond that is all open fields. So should something actually turn on fire, it won't go far because even across the street, it's all leased farmland. I live on 120 acres, but only 4 acres of it has, trees and grass. That's where I'm at here. I suppose it'll be interesting when, right. So when you put the Kahlua in the vodka, and that's it. That is the mixer. Whoa, whoa. I don't usually drink. I know I say that every time now I have a drink, but it's not, I've had the same bottle of liquor for over 2 weeks, so that tells you everything. But not making excuses because you know what? It tastes good and it feels good. So um, I'm just gonna have one. I mean, I don't hopefully won't offend anyone that doesn't like alcohol. Then again, I run that risk. I have to show up with shooting a 12 gauge at a tree. So for those of you that love trees and hate guns, probably maybe it's the show for you. Maybe like you stay tuned in to see what kind of shenanigans I'm gonna get myself into. I contend I'm not like a lot of other shows. I mean, I don't know how many shows you tune into where the host just blathers endlessly about nothing like I can, and be comfortable with that. But if you guys were here with me in person, it'd be exactly the same. I'd be blathering. And, I mean, hopefully you guys would be blathering too. But in my head, you know, around this fire, there's not much of a fire left, but trust me, the coals down in there because I dug a hole out. Then I repurposed the sod because we have some low-lying area. And then I dug out the hole about almost a foot deep so that it holds a lot of red hot coals. And this firewood I've been buying is like pretty cheap. It's kind of like gopher wood though. It's quick, but um, it's hot down there. It looks pretty ashy, but it's hot. We have a little cigarette. Wow. Yeah, we're scorching some of this. That's okay. I'm awash with bad habits. What are you guys up to tonight? Are you guys having a nice Are you gonna have Yeah, I know. I don't want to drop the ham. I got a pretty good system worked out for that. One, I got it on that long piece of metal, which used to somehow be part of my bed frame. But also, I've got a grill piece under it. And I got a pan and another grill piece. And I got the lid. I got all these layers in between the meat and the fire. I really felt like, you're getting all kinds of additives, which is no big deal. You don't mind. When you live like I live, eating a few eggs, no big deal. Better, well, never mind. I think the sun might make a peak before it goes down. That'd be quite wonderful considering the temperature is really gorgeous. Yeah, since you already did that, it didn't raise welts, but never flash. I don't like squash. I won't eat it. There are some things though that like interest me in making. I've never really been. I know my last name's Farmer, but besides growing besides growing weed, I've never really been successful. Pumpkins and weed seem to be about the thing I do really well. Speaking of which, I got to get some weed started here soon, which we can legally grow in Michigan, by the way. Each citizen in Michigan can grow 12 plants. Um, I don't think I'll be growing that many because outdoor plants get quite hard. Probably just a couple. I'm not sure how landowners, let people about that. It's legal, but does that invite trouble? Does that invite unintended consequences? You start getting stinky skunk like pot plants. Um, yes, Sensei, they don't have any kind of weed over there, right? I mean, I know they have it, but it's like illegal and stuff. Yeah, I enjoy going to the dispensary. I mean, as a younger person, I never thought, oh, walk into a store and have your selection of all these different, cannabis products. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I've been battling mice. I guess I don't know. Freaks me out though. I'll be trying to sleep at night, and next thing you know, I can hear something trying to get into my potato bag. I don't love that. I have to the whole damn bag out and everything. Um, have to get some traps. I mean, I did trap one live and let him out. I got him into a. There's a little bit of food in a bag. In the bag. Well, I tied it up and threw it outside all together, and he went too. But he probably just crawled back in. I did something to my RV having it towed in here. Back corner is kind of tearing away from the wall a little bit there in the back where the water leaked, and yeah, I didn't pay much for it. It's definitely going to be a lesson learned. Everything's working so far. Nothing's the roof is not leaking, no weird shit like that. But I can just tell that moving it and taking it out of here is going to be putting a lot of stress on it. So it may just have to either live here forever, or whatever. It's one of those things. Trying to use a car, I guess. My thought was that I would already be working, but I'm thinking this will be like a seasonal thing. I don't see how I stay here through a winter time in a Michigan winter in a tin can like that. I'd have to put a wood burning some crazy shit. I mean, it gets too cold. So I thought, well, go out to New Mexico or Colorado for winter and sort of do my thing and come back here in the spring summer. But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll land a good job around here and just end up renting a renting place something for when that year. At least I do have that option. Yeah, Brent, oh, I'll put that Brent lives in a fifth wheel, has problems with mice this winter. Yeah, 11 miles. This thing just went out the front door. Are you kidding me? 11 miles. Well, what's probably going to happen is they're going to have to. One of us is going to make it. One of us ain't going to make it. And I hate to be like that. I think about well, non-human intelligence. I used to have no problem with it, but it does make me think now. Maybe I start feeling all bad. Mom's dog and Mary Jane going back to the original owner. You know, was okay. So that Mary Jane, man, I miss that Mary Jane so much. God damn it, I miss her. I mean, I could just get bawling my eyes. I don't want to get an animal though because I find that it'll be selfish. I'm gonna start working here soon at some point, and when I start, it's gonna be overdrive, and I'm gonna be working 60, 70 hours a week, two jobs. I know how I am for a year until I can save up and up and do some crazy shit. That's what I've always done. Um, and to leave a dog in an RV situation while I'm out doing that, I'm all by myself. It just is selfish. So I guess I'll just have to relegate to visiting other people's dogs. And maybe I'm not really getting along with the owner now. Can't really see Mary Jane. I had mice years ago, and I thought live traps, and then I saw 11 miles drive. I bet that's a lot more common I don't know if you're involved in it or not, but in where people don't drive, they still find that to be the case with a lot of folks. Like, if they don't drive, or is it just you know, yeah, 22-mile walk is not what you want to do, right? After the geese going over, all the ham, they're gonna start dive bombing me soon. Uh, I genuinely feel that this UFO thing is coming out. I mean, this is a revelation. More and more documents. The Magi documents that came out to the Ryan and Bob Wood Foundation, showing communications between General LeMay and General Twining and President Truman directly involving this matter. We're talking the paper was aged to be correct. The ink was aged to be correct through analysis. And even the way that they spelled some words was indicative of late 40s spelling. I forgot what word they used, but it was separated instead of together like they would do it now, whatever word that was. Oh, we will, Sensei. I mean, just today, as a matter of fact, our United States Congress has called yet another congressional hearing on UAP and whistleblowers. This will be the third or fourth one since they started doing this a couple years ago. David Brush being the biggest, but the last one involved Michael Schellenberger, a reporter who brought out the Immaculate Constellation um, program, which basically is the database for all UFO shit. See, it's so buried in our country. Um, Owl, I hate spiders so much. I just don't even want to see one, so I just hope I don't even have to deal with it. I'm about to douse a bunch of shit under my RV with chemicals and crap, even though I know it's like you're out here in the country using chemicals. The industry, yeah, yeah, I do. Because all these bugs, snakes, and spiders coming in my unit. I can't deal with that shit. But anyways, Yeah, uh, we're gonna find out more about it. The government is not gonna tell us everything that they know. That's just the way it is. But, oh, I was saying it's so buried that you really have to be able to trace this stuff. A lot of it gets soaked up into what's called the Atomic Energy Commission through a 1958 law that labels any radioactive material. Remember, a lot of times these UAP craft give off radiation. And so any crashed craft basically is the jurisdiction of the Atomic Energy Commission. And then you got Wright Patterson Field right over here in Ohio where they send stuff to be reverse engineered at the Foreign Technology Division. It was no mystery that the senator and congressman that killed the last UAP legislation was from Ohio. That area in particular for the congressman, that was his area. Um, they're asking I mean, if you think about what Eisenhower said in 1961 on his way out the door before Kennedy took over, he said, beware of the military-industrial complex. And now I would add to that, beware of the military intelligence complex, because it's really the military intelligence complex that is controlling and running most of the UAP stuff, according to. And I have sources. I know spiders are amazing. I mean, they're just every spider bites. Okay, that's important to remember. They all bite, whether to whatever severity. You know, in Michigan, we could at least go. Well, at least we don't have brown recluses and black widows. But now there's breeding populations through these warmer winters. Uh, they just. Oh yeah, Rendlesham. Oh, of course, yeah. Uh, in fact, Rendlesham, and then you had Woodbridge was right up the road, which was run by the English side, correct, of the European side. And Rendlesham would have been the American side of the base. RAF, yeah. But two of the people that were involved in that are the only people in the all of the military that get a compensation wage based on being physically damaged from that UFO encounter. They fought for that. Michael Sheehan, an attorney, helped them fight for that. And you know, Silberry interests me greatly. Yeah, I've heard of Silberry. Uh, there's so many great European. My God, I mean, sightings and testimonials about UAP. Uh, the very first craft, of course, came from well, the first craft that in the modern day that we know of. Have to preface that because, and this involves the Bush family. I just heard and read. Yeah, Rendlesham was real and wicked crazy. That was not a lighthouse light going around. I mean, these guys didn't say everything that happened, but they had film crews the next weekend on site to record all of this shit. It happened over more than one weekend at Rendlesham, and that happened to be on Christmas Eve, where the guy recorded it on his I can't think of his name, but he recorded the experience on his tape recorder. And just to listen to that is chilling. You got the one guy going, "Sir, what is it, sir? What is it?" And he goes, "I don't know. I don't know. It's coming back. It's coming back at us. It's coming at us. It's a red, And it's like, wow, man, it really puts you there. And yeah, Rendlesham and Woodbridge are very interesting cases. Yeah. Uh, but again, there are tons of great French, Italian, English UFO sightings. One from 1933 that the Bush family ended up getting their grubby little hands on. Bush family known for what? Oil. Who would want to suppress propulsion technology that would get us off oil? I don't know. The Bush family, Prescott Bush, the old man's dad, GW's grandpa. Yeah. And they got their hands on the Magenta Italy crash in 1933, which Mussolini had stashed away and given to Hitler At some point, the Vatican snatched that back during the war or directly after the Germans lost and got that to the Americans. But they had already done that reverse engineering, and it only goes. It is fascinating. I mean, it really is. People go, well, Jesus Christ, Eric, get a life. It's no wonder you're alone. It's no wonder you don't have anything better to think about than UFOs. Of course I do. I mean, this is my creative. It's my mysterious side. It's the same reason I like a good murder mystery, not for the crime itself, but for the mystery and putting the puzzle together. This is a real puzzle, and I can guarantee you that Congress wouldn't keep calling these important meetings if there wasn't anything to it. We have been living in a classified reality for over 80 years. What do I mean by that? There I go with that. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is, if since 1933 they haven't let us know that there's shit from outside sources coming here, then they are holding that information about our true origins back and about what's really going on in this universe. That's a conspiracy. That is overclassification. They have murdered many people to keep this quiet. Mustang, what's up? Let's check the ham. We got a new person. Every time we get a new person, we're going to check the ham. Here we go. Ham alert. Ham alert. Want. Looking good, guys. We're still kind of just slow cooking on there. You see it's getting a nice crust on that outside there. I have enough layers in between the fire and the ham to hopefully prevent it from, burning up too bad. Now, it does look a little dry, as you can see on that outside lip, but keep in mind, a lot of that was the glaze that I put on there. And once you get past that, it's very tender and moist in the yeah. Hiawatha, Sensi, I spend my life on YouTube watching cryptids and UFOs, so I'm very familiar with the woo. The woo. We could talk about the woo because it's something that, I never thought. It was the part of the equation that sciencey people don't like. Like me. I've always been more sciencey than spiritual. I've always been a science nut. Always been. Anyways, that's all fading away now because there's this obvious connection between human consciousness and these entities and their intelligence and yeah, I put it on about Mustang. I put it on probably this was a 7:40 about 2 hours ago. It's just been kind of chill, but he got a pretty blackened originally, but the flame was pretty high. Now we're just cooking with like a real slow heat, and I'm just gonna let it do its thing while I'm kind of BSing with you guys, and having a cigarette and drink. Yes, I love Hiawatha. Thanks for saying that, James Iandoli. Hiawatha, I'm in this real deep. I actually give to James his Patreon. He is an incredible interviewer, James Iandoli. It's a fantastic channel. I agree with those long interviews. I also like Danny Jones. I also like Jesse Michaels. I also like Julian Dory. I'm a fan of those 2 and 3 hour interviews where I just saw one with Jesse Michaels with this guy, John Blitch. If you get a chance to listen to a John Blitch interview, crazy. Yeah, well, I contend, Sensi, that I used to think, you had to prove it scientifically, but shit. Well, it's science. It's supposed to be looking at mysteries, not just dismissing them out of hand. No, that's ridiculous. That could never happen. But you haven't gone through any of the scientific process to prove that. um, like Scott Roeder has with the Alien Vegas video. I mean, when you break it down that far with your fucking professional company and you've been doing video analysis for 30 years on murder trials, you're qualified. Okay. He says there's several aliens in that. He breaks it down and shows you it's over. The proof is here. It's in Carl Sagan. Okay. By the way, Carl Sagan with the whole extraordinary claims that require extraordinary proof bullshit was a plant by the CIA, according to rumor, speculation, allegedly, because he had salacious things on film that they said either you say this line, and he apparently was a well-known UFO proponent before all that, someone who believed in the phenomena. But yes, engaging the phenomena, excellent channel, excellent. Sensi, I don't know if I said you said that or Hiawatha, but yeah, Hiawatha, yes. Yeah, you got to check that out. James Iandoli, he's an experiencer, but he's just the most down to earth, sweetest guy. He's younger, so it's like you finally get a break from some of the old guard, if you will, in the UFO field. You know, your Dr. Greers and your you got this whole kind of round of old folks. You know, that's good. You need that experience. Well, you know, at the same time, it's good to have some really well thought out young blood coming in. And there are a lot of really great shows, but that's probably in my top three of favorite. Yeah. Hiawatha the Farmer, you watch all the channels I do. By the way, those hams are generally cooked when you buy them. I know. They just need glazed and heated. You know, I took a bite though. It's pretty hot and toasty on the outside, but just barely warm in the middle. So, yeah, I mean, it's got a good smoky flavor. I think some of this wood might be hickory, so we're kind of getting a little hickory flavor on there. But yeah, I do. I really like those channels. I like Christina Gomez. I think she's a hardworking gal in the ufology business. I'm a huge Richard Dolan fan. He's actually taken the time to comment twice after I've promoted his show. You know, this guy's huge. Richard Dolan is like definitive. Oh, whoops. Oh, shit. Oh, I forgot to put. If anybody wants to come out here, I mean, just tell me. But yeah, the first time Richard Dolan, I put up one of his shows and I said, "This guy is sexy." You know, I said he's better looking than I said he's the best looking guy in ufology since Hynek died. And he wrote me back. He said, "That's quite embarrassing." I said, "Oh my God, Richard Dolan actually reads the comments," and he just barely thanked me for putting his show up last time. But I do find him to be a sweetheart. Yeah, I like Richard Dolan a lot and um, very brilliant. He just has a three-part book series come out on USO over 1,000 pages. Leonard Stringfield was someone who's well respected in the field for doing recovery, UFO crash recovery investigations. He died. A lot of these people have been killed under mysterious circumstances. Hit by cars on their bicycles, run over in England, looking the wrong way for traffic, like Dr. John Mack. Yeah, I don't dismiss anything anymore. I think I was much more dismissive when I was younger. And people always say you get more conservative and more closed-minded the older you get. But after my experiences, the opposite is absolutely true. I mean, you couldn't say the word dog man to me 5 years ago without me just out of hand pushing you aside and going, yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. Not anymore. I don't know what. There are things that go bump in the night, and we can somehow manifest these things, and that's been proven with something called the double slit experiment when they do it with electrons. When it's not being observed, the electrons shoot out of two guns and hit in random patterns. When it is being observed, they hit exactly where they should every time, proving that mere human observation changes the outcome of events. That's something that's beyond me. Um, Yeah, intelligent disclosure. Yep, that's his channel. Yeah, like right. They can believe in yours, and yours is hogwash. Exactly. That's a great point. You know, I ran into that so bad with my UFO sighting. I mean, I really I lost some friends over it. They're like, "Oh, those are police drones." And I'm like, based on what? There's a large, self-illuminated, broiling object just over the tree line with no lights. We're talking just a ball of churning mass. If anybody goes to my church section, they can watch it. Again, verified by Scott Roeder. It's there. It's a real object. Um, you know, it just is. It's insulting. Um, I've even been on UFO channels and I put it up, and people start with the, "Oh, that could be this or that could be that," and I go, "Guys, I'm supposed to be in a safe space here. Like, why the fuck is a UFO group questioning my UFO sighting? You can't see these are the same orbs that were filmed over in Langley, Virginia, the very next day, on December 6th, one day, less than 24 hours after my sighting. What I recorded was then recorded over a military base, the exact same crap. All you have to do is Google both of them and look at them, and you'll see. It's frustrating because it's like, okay, yeah, Hiawatha. I mean, it is the real thing. I mean, um, I took um, I took the one down that I put. I only left it up for 20 minutes. I can put it back up of the bright orb at my buddy's shop. You know, I'm just afraid that he's either going to get mad at me or someone's going to figure out where that's at. It's got to stay private. But I do have more videos that are just so. Since he says it's the same with DNA, they did an experiment where they took someone's DNA and took it miles away, put it under a microscope, and then showed the person emotional footage, and their DNA changes. It's like the shape of water type shit, you know? Whatever that means. Um, yeah, drone wars. It's like I talked about. You know, I predicted. The word prediction is not the correct word. I gleaned information. And on the 30th of November, I said by December 5th, we're going to be seeing weird drones over New Jersey. Well, I guess I didn't say New Jersey. Maybe it's just somewhere in the country. Well, I mean, you guys saw the video Cryptex. That's not bullshit. Those things aren't drones. They're definitely UFOs. I'm sorry. They manifest other things. When we think about what Albert Einstein said, you know, he's so well respected, but he said spooky action at a distance. Well, what did that mean? That means that at a distance, there are two things that are mimicking each other, and the distance doesn't seem to matter. And they're interconnected that entire time through a level of living antimatter or something. I don't know. It's very mysterious. It is very mysterious. It's not as simple as us evolving from apes or God making, you know, Cain and Abel and you know, and Adam and Eve. I mean, all that may play a part in it, but there's more to the story. And when you look at the buried books of the Bible, things that came out at that same time, that quite frankly, evangelical Christians and you know the papacy at the time did not want in the Bible because it didn't fit their narrative, much like the Smithsonian's narrative of how things must go. People crossed the Bering Strait land bridge 20,000 years ago from Russia, yada, yada, yada. They populated this, they down into South America. Well, guess what? They're finding shit that's 200,000 years old. The shit they just found under the pyramid of Khafre in Egypt is 8 cylinders that are almost a half a mile with a stone staircase chiseled on the outside of each one, and four of them each empty into two big rooms, and almost a mile under the pyramid. A mile. There's over 4 miles of spiral staircase chiseled into stone under the fucking pyramid of Khafre. Explain that. 4 miles staircase. into these weird cylinders that apparently are hollow. They could hold liquid. It's some kind of power thing, power generation thing. I never thought I'd be on board with all that stuff. Man, yeah. Well, the Book of Enoch, yeah, of course. I mean, found with the Dead Sea Scrolls. Um, they didn't want the Dead Sea Scrolls coming out when they did. Remember, those were found in Jordan in the 40s. Until they went over those and made whatever disappear that they could, they didn't want that coming out because it would change the narrative that they have fed us for thousands of years. Here's how it went. Christ was born. Blah, 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 blah. We celebrate Easter. He was resurrected. You know, quite a lovely sunset. I don't know if I can zoom in at all. See that sunset? Look out there across my field there. The old RV. Oh yeah, lovely day. The geese have been flying over, coming back from wherever they freezing balls at. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's something going on, and what it is, I don't know. As soon as people start telling you, what's the walking talking cross? Gospel of Peter. Oh, I missed all that. Oh, interesting. I don't know the Gospel of Peter. I mean, with the burning bush, you think that some burning bush gave people an imparted knowledge on, or do you think that was possibly non-human intelligence? I mean, seriously, I think there are points in this planet, and I think that clearly we're not the first advanced civilization. What do I mean by advanced? What do I mean? I don't know what I mean. Maybe their advancements were things where they used vibrational tones and their pineal glands, and they were able to speak telepathically with each other. I don't know. Okay, but advanced doesn't necessarily mean a calculator. It could mean just the way that they are navigating life is well more advanced than what we gave them credit for, aka Atlantis. Doesn't mean they have these ships necessarily that are floating through the sky, they're flying them. Although when you talk about the Vimana and the mystery and the history of flying carpets, for anybody that remembers those probably over European races, there's been a lot of mysteries, throughout the years. Things that I would just chalk up to folklore, but what if not everything is folklore? You know, I mean, have you heard of the Kandahar giant? I mean, this story is out there, man. I mean, everybody's talking about it. I mean, we're talking a 15-foot red-haired giant that killed all these soldiers, and we finally bring it down. Good fire and fly back here. You got the whole DARPA thing where they're making shit half hybrids. Who knows? But it is interesting. To say it's not, and if in our lifetime, excuse me, in our lifetime, we somehow get legitimate proof beyond what the scout rotors are showing us and the amateur scientists are showing us that we've been being visited and manipulated DNA wise by these non-human or advanced humans. They may live ultra terrestrial. It will be the biggest moment in the history of humanity if it is indeed the first time that we realize that. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of doom and gloom in that one. I mean, maybe they didn't want people feeling like, everything was going to be all shitty at the end. But I do think there's something to cycles and cataclysms, natural cataclysms, and these sort of astrological alignments. I don't know what it all means, but I think there is something to it in terms of how it pulls. The moon itself is such an anomaly. Never, the dark side never faces Earth. It's way larger than any other moon in our solar system for the planet size we are. It's fucking hollow. They know that because they fired a rocket off into it. It rained for 3 hours afterwards. I mean, I really do think it was possibly driven over there. I think it was the structure. Oh, and then another thing about the moon: the dirt on top of the surface, all over the moon, is older than the dirt under the surface. Very weird. Yeah, we might be. You never know. I mean, we wouldn't know the difference. I mean, I don't think nothing would be like it is in our human brain. And we may not be able to even understand it, but people are speaking telepathically with each other. These things are happening. There's all these study programs. I mean, remote viewers. Government won't shell out billions of dollars to have these programs unless there was some positive cause and effect on them. So, Mars, they're finding more structures on Mars. I think it's obvious that that once housed civilization. According to the isotopes on Mars, most likely had a nuclear impact of some kind, a large nuclear event, a war, something that blew their atmosphere away. Changed the isotope readings on the surface. At the end of the day, guys, it doesn't change anything about our struggle to live, about to pay the bills and go to work and take care of the kids out to college and fix the car and feed the dog and shit. It doesn't change any of that. But what it might do is unite us in a way that, quite frankly, humanity's never been united before. So we don't really know what kind of collective advances we may make with this knowledge at hand. Um, but yeah, Mr. Steve, yeah, he did a show like maybe about 4 or 5 nights ago. So he's around. I didn't watch it yet, but I know he's okay. Frank, I was worried about him. I hadn't heard from him, but not that I hear from these people, but see something for a couple weeks when you're used to seeing them, a couple times a week. I get a little worried, like I do. I care about Mr. Steve. I care about these people. I care about you guys. I want everyone to be all right. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't. Oh, the fire is pretty well. I'd say there's not much to see left on the fire. Really, much. I had to kind of let it die down because the ham was suffering. The ham was suffering a little bit in terms of cooking a little bit too quick. I wanted to slow that down, so I just kind of let it burn out. You know, um, I don't know. Oops, shit. I don't know if everyone can see that. Um, yeah, Mr. Steve is the best. I mean, you talk about a guy that you can just tell has a heart. He's a good dude. I mean, he's got some instinct too, Mr. Steve. I mean, I'd be at my lowest point on occasion, and I had some. Not so many these days, but a few months back, a year back, whatever. And he'd always pop on my channel with a positive message for me possibly at my worst time. So he just has Mr. Steve definitely has some telepathic shit. You got grandkids, huh, Owl? Yeah. Yep. I guess it is exhausting. Probably super rewarding, and be making a weekend like this a little holiday thing where family gets together and eats a little bit, and maybe whatever they celebrate. Faith or family or all of that. That's pretty. I'm pretty shocked to hear the Sleuth was going to have a kid. I mean, I posted congratulations, but he didn't even give me a thumbs up. I guess he didn't really want to talk no more, but that's fine with me. But I still congratulate him. He's going to have a little boy, and I know he's wanted one for a long time. I said, Sleuth man, the world is never going to you have a little boy, but I'm real happy for him anyway. So congratulations to Sloop Wilson for him and his wife, family, having a newborn for us. Yeah, I think it's a matter of since someone said he was out on the road a lot right now, which is makes me feel good at least that he's being active. I don't want to think that he's ill or that somebody in his life is ill and he's having to sort of break with what he usually does to sort of address that. That doesn't matter what I want. I mean, but we sure want him to be broadcasting. Oh, you do really? You're a great grandma. Wow, man! I'll tell you what. I loved my great grandma. She's the one that came over on a ship called the Carpathia, 1912. Same voyage with dropped from Ellis Island and go back and rescue the survivors from the Titanic. I still have her secret storage. She was from Yugoslavia in April of 1912, and she was a part of my life until I was in sixth grade when she died right in front of me, very peacefully. It was my first experience with seeing someone pass away, and it wouldn't be my last, but it was the easiest. Congratulations, seriously, Hiawatha. That's really excellent. Woo! Great grand. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that killed that Kalua, gotcha. Looks like that sun's about ready to set. It's been a quiet week here in Lake Wobegon. I always hated that shit. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple of your lives. I mean, to listen to you, you sound like a sprightly young man. To see you, you do look, you got a little age on you. I'm 52. I don't know how old you are, but you got to be right up there with me at least, maybe a little bit older even. Oh, good, Hiawatha. Do you have a big kind of sort of like family, get together? I mean, we used to do a little bit for Easter, but I'll be honest with you, it was always more about Thanksgiving and Christmas than my households, not my grandparents. Well, it's very close with Grandma was a Jehovah's Witness and Grandpa was an atheist. There's no Christmas in that house. But Thanksgiving was not a religious holiday. So Grandma was allowed to celebrate that, and we would go to my grandpa's brothers in Allegan, Michigan. We go to see Bob Farmer, my grandpa George Farmer. Um, Farmers from Allegan. I'm related to them. Allegan, known for their and they had the highest concentration of addicts in the entire state. But um, I oh damn, damn, why you say it like that? That's funny as shit. I don't know why that struck me so on the back nine, bro. Man, the back nine is where the action is at, baby. 3 kids and 4 grands. Woo! Do all the kids have kids, or is it like doubled up and you still got one that's like still swinging without having like kids of their own, or do you have grandkids from all your kids? I'm happy that my mom got one. Me being a homo, um, mom was probably a new kid for me unless some crazy drunken night really got out of hand and I went straight. But no kids, But uh, my sister, thank goodness, took up that cause for me, and after college, and finally she waited. She got married. She converted. My sister converted to Catholicism. Um, my husband. Oh no, my husband was already Catholic. My, oh my God, my sister. Sorry, Chris. My sister's husband was already Catholic, and she converted for him. Sorry, I now have a buzz. Great, fun wedding. Good family. Some of those liberal Catholics in Chicago. It's like one of these big denominations. Like even gay people are all right over there. I just don't like people telling me I'm going to go to hell or I'm a bad person or something like that. It gets a little heavy, or telling me that the political choice of political party of my choice is in league with Satan, things like that. It bugs me. I don't like to. Wow, Owl. I'd ask what happened, but whew, Christian for 35 years now, an atheist. I was an atheist for 50 years. I'm 52. Woo, because something else. There's something else, and I realized that finally. To me, I'm not professing that to you. I mean, I was a clear atheist. My grandfather and I would laugh. You have to understand the relationship. I mean, he's married to my grandma for 50 plus years. In the 70s, she turns Jehovah's Witness. My grandpa's like, you said what now? Julie? But he never minded. She would go to church 3, 4 nights a week. And I'd come over every single weekend to my grandparents, and we would sit there, and then we had our shows we'd watch Friday night, our shows we'd watch Saturday night, Incredible Hulk and Fantasy Island and Love Boat. And we'd walk over to the Minute Market and get a liter of Canfield, club soda, not club soda, shit, cream soda, and a liter of root beer in glass bottles. Yeah, that's for sure, Sensei. I never felt that before, but I do now. I had to look upon something greater than myself to make it through the last couple of years. Still could have wished down with that. We missed it. Oh, really? Are you serious? I respect the Jehovah's Witnesses more than I do some religions. They're non-political. If you tell them to go away, they do. They don't sit there and argue with you about your door, and all that. They're non-political. And did you know that during World War II, Hitler kept many of them in prison and said, "You either relinquish your faith, or I'm going to kill you." And they said, "Kill us. I'm not going to do it." They don't take blood. I know that from my own grandmother needed an operation. Shock and horror on my grandpa's face as he had to sign the paperwork saying that she wouldn't accept human blood uh, as it wasn't clean to the body. She lived and she was fine, but it could have been bad. But my grandpa always respected choice to be whatever religion she wanted or no religion. My grandpa was in the 30s, got sent with his brother to a place called the Jackson Home for Boys, which was run by the nuns, and he was abused very badly, and he was an atheist ever since then. Abused how? I don't know. I never asked. He didn't volunteer. Just like the war, my grandpa never went to the VFW. He never joined the VFW or the VA, or put flags out or did any of that. My grandpa said, "Look, that's my business, and we all did what we had to do, but I'm not going to sit and celebrate it." He also told me wise men speak few words, that I talk a lot. Thanks, Gramps. He was a truck driver, man. Drove for Green Bay Packaging, Kalamazoo Container Division, for about 40 some years. Charlemagne did the same thing, convert or die. Yeah, well, dealing with somebody's faith, this is not a position you should put people in. People will die for their faith. Look at the Holy Wars. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Al. 57 though, not too bad. Not too bad. I see you're not all bloated up or anything. You look all right. You look okay, healthy. I hope you are. I'm not saying you're out to gonna go jog, 20 miles, but you don't look as bad as some 57-year-olds. Look, I don't think I look as bad as some 52-year-olds. If you guys knew the amount of booze and drugs I did for the first half of my life, you'd wonder how I was even still alive. Ah, kind of dog you got? What? You smoke cigarettes, I will. Pretty useless habit, expensive, but it settles me. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was. You hear a lot about the Catholic priest sort of sexual molestation of people and all this sort of thing. I don't think that's what we're talking about with my grandpa and his brother. Back in those days, in the 30s, you found a fucking job wherever you could in America. You had the Great Depression going on, and so my grandpa's father would drop them off at the Jackson Home for Boys for months at a time while he would go throughout the country and find farm work in warmer climates to pick, whatever crops he could get. My grandpa told me that the only food they had sometimes a train a train would come by and they would throw onions and if they were lucky a few potatoes off the train. And the kids that were running behind it would catch those and he'd have onion soup for dinner that night. Think about it. And I know people in England and Europe, they understand their family histories go way back to times of much, much suffering, starvation. 125-pound bully whose name is Bully. He's an old man too. He's 11 this year. Wow, 77. I love dogs. I do. I do love dogs. I miss my babies, but I just couldn't handle it right now, guys. I'm disappointed with myself that I let those dogs go, but I worked my butt off to find them qualified, better homes than what I could have given them. I mean, Louis. I mean, it's amazing. They take them. They just took him to Arkansas. He went to where Martin Luther King Memorial was at. I see a picture of my dog at Martin Luther King Spring Memorial. I go, my dog, my old dog's better traveled than me. She puts him in a little backpack, takes him all around. I mean, it's a love that this little dog's having with his new owners. That makes me feel good. I mean, that was my mom's dog, but still, I feel like it's my responsibility. Anything to do with my immediate family is my. I took care of my grandparents until they both died, so they didn't have to go into nursing homes and work two full time. One full time and a part time job at the same time. I just, I wish I could have. She fell that day, and um, went back out since, and just having a hard enough time taking care of my own, I guess, mental state. I feel pretty guilty about it, but the fact that she's doing well again does alleviate a lot of that. Two huge dogs, six cats, a bearded dragon, and a few guinea pigs. It sounds like you got the zoo over there. Damn, Uncle. Six cats. Oh, cats are high maintenance, but that's awesome. Animals, it's true. Yeah. Oh shit, I'm about to run out of battery. I'm on energy saver. If I run out of battery and I just go Blotto. That's because I ran out of it. Yeah, I mean, the last dog I got proper that I got, me and my cousin Brett got, Elmo. I'll put pictures of him up sometime. I had him. He was 4 when we got him. He was a bigger dog. He lived for another like 13 years. And my cousin, when he moved out and bought my mom's house after my grandma died, wanted Elmo, and he walked him every day. And I loved Elmo, and we shared him. But for Elmo's best interest, I let him go with Brett because Brett was so good about again walking him every damn day, and he loved that dog so much. It's just hard for me to be selfish in a situation like that with an animal. I guess I'd probably be the same. I guess if I thought that they were gonna have a better existence or upbringing or whatever. Why? Why, Owl? Why you got a dead? Oh, are you gonna eat it or something? But I hit a rabbit once, and I was listening to kind of redneck news. They made me go back and get it and take it home and cook. Yeah. Yeah, my niece really liked guinea pigs. She had one for like 7 or 8 years. It finally passed away. It affected her pretty bad. Oh, I'm gonna get this ham off here, guys. I'm gonna kill. I'm gonna end this ridiculous stream. Rabbit for a meal. My husband was a hunter, and I miss venison. See, about the only thing on deer I ever liked too much was jerky. I just don't like the wild game flavor. I had some caribou ones in Alaska. That was good. It had no. It was like eating Dinty Moore beef stew. It was so damn good. I miss my time in Alaska. Oh, okay. Well, I guess you keep it in the freezer then. Well, shit. Hopefully you don't have the same rules with grandparents. No disrespect. Well, like they say, good for food or pets. Thanks you guys for being with me tonight. Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for cooking ham with me. I'm gonna not eat the ham on camera. I think that's a little gross, but I am gonna eat some. I'll let you know how it was. And that's what people say. I don't know. Bison, I would try. Really, Meyer sells it. I have a Meyer. I mean, we have the Meyer. Grand Rapids has Frederick Meyer Gardens. Oh, he started Myers. I've never been there. It's beautiful. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna cut the stream. I'm gonna get this ham off this thing without dropping it all over the yard. I hope. And I went a little longer than I thought I was gonna. Honestly, it never did rain. One more shot of the ham before we take off, guys. It's looking toasty. Oh yeah. Thanks for being with me tonight. Thank you, Hiawatha. I love you all too, and I hope you do have a happy Easter, regardless of your whatever you believe. You know, I don't. I think it's more about just being together with friends and family, and I consider you guys both. And thank you so much for being with me tonight. And I will see you soon. It's my second live of the day, so I'm on a roll. See you soon, guys. Maybe.